Live and on demand from the WNY News Now studios in downtown Jamestown. This is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. It's Friday. I'm Justin Gould.
And I'm Matt Hummel. Happening now, one man is dead following a crash involving a diesel tanker. Details coming up.
Plus, an inmate was assaulted at the Chautauqua County Jail. What we know thus far. But first, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is standing by with a live look at our weather. Hey, Dakota.
And happy Friday, Jay and Matt, and happy Friday to you. We made it to the end of another work weekend. It's a dry day. Here's First Defense Doppler, nothing going on, and it's going to remain that way throughout the day today. But we do have the stubborn clouds that are pretty much in place, and this is going to continue throughout the early afternoon. But as we go into the late afternoon, we will see the clouds breaking up a little bit, leading to some full sunshine across some areas. Check on the pollens here. Grass is running in the moderate category. It actually knocked it down from a few days ago, and the ragweed pollen is also running in the moderate category as well. So those are your two culprits, of course, now since we're in summer. So here we go, hour by hour. Again, we have the cloud cover right now, but it will start to break apart as we go into the late afternoon hours. And with that, the temperatures will actually rebound into the mid 70s. This is cooler and it will be less humid as well, but the day should be mainly dry. We'll talk about the remainder of the forecast, plus Tropical Storm Barry. We'll talk about it and if we'll have any impacts come next week. Justin and Matt.
Already looking forward to it. Dakota, thank you. Our top story, one person was killed after a diesel tanker hit a Jeep Grand Cherokee early Friday morning on Route 83 in the town of Ellington. Ellington Fire Chief Stephen Rexford tells WNY News Now the driver of the Jeep, later identified by New York State Police as Conewango Valley resident 23-year-old Raymond Spangler, was found deceased in his vehicle following the crash. The operator of the diesel tanker, Stephen Warren, was taken to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital for evaluation. Rexford said the man only sustained minor bruising in the collision. Now, following an investigation by New York State Police, troopers determined that the Jeep, traveling southbound, drifted across the center line, striking the semi who was traveling northbound. Police said the driver of the semi attempted to avoid the collision. The deceased was taken to Erie County Medical Center for an autopsy. Route 83 between Hunt Road and Church Street is closed and expected to be closed for a number of hours as hazmat crews work to clear the scene there.
Chautauqua County Hazmat team has been here. The contractor for NOCO is here to secure the vehicle and clean up the diesel fuel. They're actually going to offload the trailer, and then the wreckers will tip it over and get it back on the road.
Now, crews originally responded to the call shortly after 1:30 when a New York State trooper on patrol came across the crash. Rexford said the driver of the tanker also walked to a nearby house to call for help. New York State Police said no charges are expected at this time.
Chautauqua County Medic 73 in the Mayville Volunteer Fire Department ambulance responded to the Chautauqua County Jail Friday morning for an inmate assault. Chautauqua County Fire Dispatch reports emergency personnel were dispatched shortly before 9 a.m. to the jail for an assault victim. It is unclear who the assaulted inmate is and what the extent of their injuries are.
And 4 people are facing charges following a raid yesterday in the town of Allegheny that allegedly led to the seizure of 36 grams of crack cocaine, along with scales, packaging used in the distribution of those narcotics. The Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office says that the following were charged with the criminal possession of a controlled substance: 47-year-old Scott Hillerman and 29-year-old Angela Rogers, both of Allegheny, as well as 22-year-old Telson Swindle and 25-year-old Kendall Woodward, both of Buffalo. Deputies say all 4 were remanded to the Cattaraugus County Jail after appearing in Allegheny Town Court.
And immigration remains one of the largest issues discussed and debated throughout the country. It's also no secret that the issue is causing polarization. Congressman Tom Reed, during his media conference with reporters yesterday, said that Congress could still reach a compromise if given a fair chance.
The House was given the free latitude to work its will. I think there is a heart of a compromise that could be reached where You combine border security with what they call the Dreamers, the DACA kids, and some other folks where it's not a citizenship path for them, but it's a legal status type of situation where the kids have access to citizenship, but the parents who broke the law and come here get a legal status type of qualification. I think there's contours of a deal there that could be reached in a bipartisan way. And I think that would get, if it was given an opportunity to be voted for on the floor, coupled with border security, I think you could solve this problem and move on from there in a positive way.
Now, multiple reports state that ICE agents are soon expected to conduct raids on undocumented immigrants throughout the nation. In addition, President Donald Trump is expected to back off of the push for a census citizenship question.
That certainly is a very hot debate going on right now there in Washington and all over Western New York as well. Happy Friday to all of you. Thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. And certainly, Matt, yesterday in downtown Buffalo, that's 2 hours from where we are here in Jamestown, there was a protest in regards to immigration there. A number of people arrested for standing in the street protesting unlawfully. So interesting to see kind of where this goes and what Congressman Tom Reed's take is on this. So I guess next for them then, are they going to try to pass a piece of legislation to address this, or is that kind of in gridlock at this point?
I think it's more of in gridlock. They can't even get to the table right away.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what does happen, especially when dealing with in September, they are having that is the deadline that they have to have a spending bill passed.
Yeah.
And the ceiling may have to be raised according to multiple reports out there.
Yeah.
It really will be interesting to see what happens over the summer.
Yeah, certainly was. So thank you all so much for joining us once again. Danielle, hello to you. Saying hello to the Jester Promoting Company. Hopefully you are having a good day. Tabitha, hello. Renee, Julie, thanks for joining us. Tina, Don, Mark is here too. Let's see, Smathers is here. Wendy has joined us. Robert is here as well. Good to see all of you. Good to see Wendy, another long-time fan of the broadcast. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to these Facebook Live updates. And we're here every day, Monday through Friday, live at noon. Coming up next, a lot more news to tell you about. We speak with the Jamestown Democrat mayoral candidate, Eddie Sundquist, as he talks about various concerns that he's heard from citizens last night at a meet and greet.
But first, New York State and Charter, they've reached a settlement. Dakota.
And the high yesterday was 77. We bottomed out at 60 degrees this morning. And look at that record for today, 92, set back in 1989, safe for another year. We'll talk more about this forecast in a minute as WNY News Now continues in just a minute. Now open in downtown Jamestown, Pearl City Hops, restaurant and tavern.
I have some real old-timey dishes on there that I'm just giving new life to. Like there's a shepherd's pie on there that's going to have some bison in it, real thick hearty gravy. Then I'm also doing beer flights. We're pairing it with a set of sliders, a set of tacos, and a set of mini rolls. So everything's going to have its own pair, so you can get a taste of a little bit of everything and all the beers. We don't want to be known as the restaurant in the hotel. We want to be known as Pearl City Hops.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
Happening now, New York regulators have approved a settlement with Charter Communications, resolving a dispute over rural broadband. The state's Public Service Commission endorsed the deal on Thursday, and under the terms, Charter must follow through on promises to provide broadband to 145,000 upstate customers. That's an investment estimated to exceed $600 million and pay the state $12 million for other broadband projects. Regulators voted last year to rescind approval for Charter's 2016 merger with Time Warner Cable following concerns it wasn't meeting promises to expand high-speed internet. Charter has said that the settlement would prevent the possibility of a costly legal battle, and the Stamford, Connecticut-based Charter, which does business at Spectrum, agreed last year to give refunds and free services that settle allegations that Time Warner hadn't delivered promised internet speeds.
Well, the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office launched an effort Thursday to impose the use of firearm databases so law enforcement can better track guns used in crimes and ultimately clamp down on gun violence. Speaking at a news conference in Erie, Attorney General Josh Shapiro called gun violence a, quote, public health epidemic, end quote. Now, to attack it, he wants police departments to enter serial numbers from every gun used in a crime or seized by police into a federal law enforcement database so its original seller can be identified and the information shared with other law enforcement agencies. Now, law enforcement in the state says tracing the source of every gun used in a crime can provide leads to gun traffickers or illegal sellers and purchasers. But law enforcement analysts say that not every police department traces all such firearms. Pennsylvania law requires guns used in crimes to be traced, and information can be submitted various ways to the ATF.
And the Democrat candidate for City of Jamestown mayor held his first major meet and greet at the newly opened brewery here in downtown Jamestown last night.
That's right. Eddie Sundquist told WNY News Now that more than 100 people turned out to share their ideas with the candidate.
Now, many are telling Sundquist that they are concerned with improving housing around the city.
We're really focusing on three major things. The first one being just dealing with the housing stock that we have here in the city. You know, working with residents to really try to make necessary repairs, also to take properties that may not need to be condemned and get them sold off and to people that are willing to put in the repairs and willing to work on the properties and bring it up to our taxes.
Now, Sundquist also said that if elected, he would push to bring information technology jobs to Jamestown. He said the city already has incredible resources and space to develop an IT hub. The candidate also says he wants to foster an environment to keep the, quote, best and brightest in the area.
Well, many of us take dietary supplements. More than half of American adults do. But as Meredith Wood explains, most of those supplements on the market don't do much for our heart health.
Probiotics, multivitamins, vitamin C. There's a good possibility you take some kind of dietary supplement. But are they really doing any good? According to the Journal of the American Medical Association, 52% of American adults use these pills. But new research says that most vitamins and minerals found in these supplements actually don't do anything for your heart health. In fact, they may even increase your risk of a stroke. The Annals of Internal Medicine did find that omega-3 fatty acids, commonly found in fish oil, reduce the risk of heart attacks and coronary heart disease. But the group says almost everything else had no significant effect on mortality. Instead, one potential option research says that could help your heart is a simple change in diet. Researchers found limited evidence that a low-salt diet may reduce the risk of death, but only in those with high blood pressure. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
All right, Meredith, thank you very much. Now, that journal who published the study says more research needs to be done on supplements. So very interesting. Nevertheless, I take a melatonin supplement, which really doesn't do much other than make you sleepy, so it says, to try to get to bed at night sometimes when the mind wanders. And it works for me. I mean, I don't know whether it is just a placebo type thing or if it actually works. I mean, granted, when I take it, like, I'm not continuing to, say, watch TV or something. Like, I lay down and, try to calm down and relax, which ultimately gets most people to sleep anyway. So, interesting study there. And I suppose she's right, though, Matt. I mean, ultimately, it comes down to exercise and trying to eat better, albeit sometimes that's difficult.
Yeah, especially in our field, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and I know a lot of times when we're on the run. So hopefully we can get some that rabbit food in our future.
Good idea.
So good Friday to all of you. Thanks for tuning in with us today on the broadcast. Saying hello to Kathleen as well. Hopefully you are doing well. Connie, thanks so much for tuning in. Brenda, hello to you as well. And Joe is here also. Hello, Joe. Hopefully you are doing well. If you're just joining us, drop your name in the comments, say hello, interact with us. Be sure to like, share, and comment in this video, as we love hearing from you and answering any questions you may have in regards to the stories we have. I know there was a question about the fatal crash. Full details on that are available on WNYNewsNow.com and our mobile app. We have a full story there as well, in case you did tune in a little bit late. Coming up next, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. He's standing by with a look at our First Defense weather forecast.
And later today is Collector Car Appreciation Day. We're gonna have details on that as News Now continues.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Not tomorrow, but right now on the WNY News Now mobile app. Follow local news as it happens.
Top story: a Forestville man's weather video has gone viral.
And stay informed with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network.
Our Matt Hummel is standing by live outside of Chautauqua County Court with more on this case. Matt, good afternoon to you.
Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
First Defense Weather, the Southern Tier's only live and local weather source. Now, here's Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter.
And welcome back. And as you take a live look at First Defense Doppler, there is nothing going on the live sweep. Now, yesterday we said there was going to be storms across the area, but we did stress how if we didn't get sunshine, the chances of storm activity was very low, and that was the case yesterday. We did not get any sunshine yesterday in the afternoon that fueled those showers and thunderstorms. The cold fronts plowed on through, so all of that activity is now going up here, going up pretty much into Nova Scotia, Canada, as that cold front is plowed on through. That's why we are much cooler today, and the humidity is down as well. If you want to get around to golf in today, perfect. 70 at 1, down to about 74 at 6. We may top out around 74, 75 degrees is our forecasted high for around the day. Stubborn cloud cover early, but look at what happens as we go throughout the late afternoon. The clouds will break apart, leading to full sunshine throughout the day. And speaking of that sunshine, we didn't get it yesterday. 77 was the high officially at Jamestown, 84 in Dunkirk, 87 in Erie. The sun did break out in Northwest PA. That's why the thunderstorm activity was much more concentrated down to our south and to our east, where they actually hit 89 in Batavia and 86 in Rochester. But down in the southern tier, where we had that rain earlier yesterday morning, that actually prevented the sun from breaking out, and the clouds held down our temperatures and also kept the rain at bay. Here's what's going on with Tropical Storm Barry. This is the next big thing. It's now starting to get within radar view. You can actually see the circulation. Right now, it's a tropical storm with 50-mile-per-hour winds, 65-mile-per-hour gusts, and the pressure has dropped to 998 millibars. Of course, when the temperature when the pressure drops in a tropical system, that means it's actually getting stronger. But right now, this is actually the water vapor satellite, and you can see the circulation a little better. It's actually fighting a lot of wind shear coming in into the Gulf, and it's only moving at 5 miles per hour. Its name fits it. It's barely moving. Get it? Yeah. So anyway, here's the official track from the National Hurricane Center. It'll now they believe it'll come in as a strong tropical storm, 70-mile-per-hour wind. 75 is needed for a Cat 1 hurricane, but 70, 75 doesn't matter. The impacts are going to be right around the same. It'll come into Louisiana, and then it'll ultimately weaken off into a depression as it moves over Arkansas, and then as it moves into the across the Ohio River Valley, it starts to weaken off into a remnant low, and there is the chance that we could see some impacts from this later next next week. It's still a little too early to know that, but it's going to be remnant low, so possibly just some minor heavy rain. And speaking of the heavy rain, this is going to be the big issue down here where you see this tan color that's 20 plus inches on the QPF. That's 20 plus inches of rain around New Orleans, 10 to 15 up here, Mississippi around 10 to 15 or 5 to 10 inches. So this is going to be a flooding rain potential. So it doesn't matter if this comes in as a Category 1 hurricane or as a tropical storm, the impact is going to be about the same with flooding rain. But around here, zone by zone, we have none of that. Lots of sunshine throughout the day, but we do have the cloud cover early, around 75 around Jamestown, 78 Warren. The clouds will break apart later in the day as we go westward to the Lake Erie shoreline. Here again with a northwest wind that may keep you a little bit cooler, 75 around Erie, maybe only 71 in Ripley. And in terms of the comfort index, again, much more comfortable. Again, today, tomorrow, we drop the humidity very nicely on Sunday before it spikes up again to oppressive levels by mid next week again. Next 7 days coming up on the big screen, 82 degrees tomorrow, 79 on Sunday. Fantastic weekend ahead. And then as we take a look at the rest of that forecast, sunny skies on Monday. And then as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it's going to feel hot and tropical, upper 90s with very oppressive humidity. Sports is next. Don't go away.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
Rejoice, sports fans, it is Friday. Welcome back to WNY News Now. I'm Norm Rodriguez with a look at sports. On Sunday from noon until 6 p.m., the 15 and under Babe Ruth All-Star team, along with Basil and Bones, will be hosting a chicken barbecue fundraiser. Like the other one last Sunday, this fundraiser is to help with travel costs for the Mid-Atlantic Regional Tournament in Hamilton, New Jersey, which will be played next Friday. The dinner will consist of a half chicken with a choice of 2 sides and a dinner roll. Side dishes which can be chosen are baked beans, corn on the cob, potato salad, macaroni salad, and pasta salad. The chicken barbecue fundraiser will be taking place at the parking lot of Raymore and Flanagan. The Jamestown Parks, Recreation, and Conservation City Slow Pitch League will be having games on Sunday. A total of 27 games will be played, and first pitch times for games range from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The games will be taking place at Bergman Park, Danielson Park, and J&G Park. Tonight with a 7:10 first pitch, the New York Mets resume their regular season with a 3-game road series against the Miami Dolphins. New York is in 4th in the NL East at 40-50, losing 3 of their last 4 prior to the All-Star break. Meanwhile, Miami is in dead last in the same division at 33-55. Jason Vargas will be on the mound for New York against Caleb Smith for Miami. The game will be televised on Sportsnet New York. That's it for sports today. Justin and Matt, back to you.
Alrighty, Norm. Thank you very much. Well, today is Collector Car Appreciation Day, and ever since the first horseless carriage hit the open road, Americans have had quite a love affair with the automobile. Collector Car Appreciation Day is a good time to admire the ingenuity and craftsmanship that has gone into car manufacturing over the years, and also the expertise involved in keeping older cars up and running. If you're lucky enough to have one of those beauties, take your collector car out for a spin, but you don't have to own one to appreciate them. You can recognize and shout out the knowledge of those who have worked hard on these automobiles. You can also talk about your favorites on social media and connect with others in groups using the hashtag Collector Car Appreciation Day. Pretty cool. And actually, Matt, I didn't know today was Collector Car Appreciation Day until I came in here and the story came across our feed. But on the HD News Now cam this morning, there was like a whole line of
Really?
old vintage cars. Yeah, just before this broadcast, I was in here getting mic'd up, and they had the camera up like they usually do, kind of as like, you know, a background buffer for our app stream. And I'm looking, and I'm like, it just happens to work out. I'm like, well, too bad we couldn't have recorded that.
I know.
It's probably out there somewhere in the internet.
Well, someone's going to find it.
Yeah. So,
Storm Hartman, if you're watching,
he'll find it. He'll find it. Maybe he can pull it for us. Who knows? But pretty good day, nevertheless. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Amy, hello to you. Wendy and Raven as well. Thanks for hanging out and sticking with us here. On the broadcast. Dakota did have to step out just a little bit early, so I guess I get tasked with doing a final weather here. Today it's going to be hot. That's pretty much the story. No rain, though, but lots of clouds out there. We'll top out near 73 degrees. Heading into the weekend, not going to be too bad out there. Needed relief in the humidity department. Highs in the low 80s. And upper 70s. And of course, you can catch that forecast anytime at WNYNewsNow.com. Andrew Stevenson will have a web article coming up, as our weather staff always does, with details on that weekend weather. So again, if you're doing anything outside today, make sure you stay hydrated.
Absolutely.
And you could be drinking water. I don't have coffee in this anymore, but water in the brand new WNY News Now mug. Isn't this nice, man?
Absolutely.
It's a nice mug. So. That's going to do it for us today. Of course, we are back on Fun Day Monday with a recap of everything that happened over the weekend and news happening next week. I think the fair's happening next week. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure the Stark County Fair's happening
be.
next week. So that should be a fun week of some feature stories from there. Have you downloaded the WNY News Now app yet, Matt?
No, I have not.
You haven't?
I have not.
Oh, well, you better do that right now. It's available for free.
Oh, you know I have.
On the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We leave you with a live look over Berta's Bay in Chautauqua Lake. Have a great weekend, everybody.